If you were making a movie about this hotel, what would it be about?
It would be the myth of people who have the guts to live their dreams and do what they really want to do and enjoy life no matter what it throws at them.
If you follow the Walk of Fame, past the Marilyn Monroe impersonator, past the Wax Museum, across the street from this guy, you arrive at the Highland Gardens. I first heard about the hotel from a friend back in Toronto. He told me it's where all Canadians stay while they're trying to make it in Hollywood. So it's where I'll stay while I give stand-up comedy a try. While I'm here, I'm also going to shoot a documentary about this hotel. I've always had a fascination with the glamour of Hollywood. Wow, that is really disgusting. The Highland Garden sits at the bottom of the Hollywood Hills, where celebrities are perched in multi-million-dollar homes. On the opposite side of the hotel is a park where all the homeless guys hang out. Hidden by palm trees, most people in LA don't know the hotel exists. It's like a hideaway for artists and other transients. On maps of Hollywood hotels, the Highland Gardens isn't even listed. There's history at this hotel. In the 60s, the Rat Pack used to meet in the lobby for drinks. Brad Pitt lived in room 116 for a year and a half. Earth, Wind & Fire recorded an album in room 122. Janis Joplin overdosed on heroin in room 105.
I'm bringing back home.
Fans of Janis Joplin often pass through the hotel to see the room where the legendary performer died. Today, the hotel is still a haven for performers looking for their big break. They pay by the week, the month, or the year. Artists of every type: rock bands, actors, magicians, even ballerinas. Everyone at this place seems to have been here longer than they originally expected. It's like they get trapped here. Today is February 1st. I've got enough money saved up to be at the hotel for 60 days. Now that I've checked in, I want to get to know some of my neighbors and find out what it is they're looking for within the walls of this hotel. Keep going, it's so good. I'm happy for you that you had a good audition.
Thank you, me too.
Your family must be proud of you because you're in Los Angeles and you're pursuing your dream and you're doing well. Isn't that true?
Yes, they are.
Laura comes from Toronto, but she left home at 15 to travel the world as a model. She lived in New York, Paris, Milan, and had a very lucrative career. Then, like a lot of models, Laura decided that she'd rather be an actress. She's been in LA for a year now and hasn't yet caught a break, though she did date Matthew Perry. Meanwhile, her money has run out, so tomorrow, Laura is checking out of the hotel and heading back home to Canada.
Somebody needs to say, I believe you can do it.
Brian, a musician from Vancouver, used to teach drama at a high school. He spent more time in the principal's office than any of his students, and they eventually fired him for mooning his class. Out of work, Brian drove to LA to sing his songs at local clubs. Mostly, he's been singing at the hotel. Brian downs a half-liter of Jim Beam whiskey a day. I can tell when he's about to take a swig because his right hand starts to shake. How much do you drink a day? When do you start drinking in the day?
I usually start drinking around, usually 5 o'clock. I have a coffee with whiskey in it. And then I usually go to bed around 4 or 5 in the morning. So I usually just sort of sip out of the flask till then.
Are you legal to work here as a Canadian?
No.
So, for how long do you think you'll be in LA, this hotel?
If it was up to me, I wouldn't leave.
Pretty much every night at the hotel, there's a party in someone's room. I've never been surrounded by so many unemployed people in my life. The hotel is booked solid because it's pilot season, a 2-month period at the start of the year when TV networks cast all of their new shows. The odds of becoming the star of a hit TV show are about as good as winning the lottery. Only 1 in 4 shows that make it to air will survive past the first couple of episodes, and only 1 in about 15 pilots produced will even get picked up in the first place. To be cast in the pilot, you've got to be better than the other 100 actors who audition for the role. And to get the chance to audition, your agent has to convince the casting director to see you out of 1,000 actors who are also perfect for the part. And if you're not represented by a top talent agency, then you'll really get lost in the crowd of 1 million lesser-known actors. But despite the odds, when actors feel that their big break is dangling right in front of them, they can spend a lifetime trying to grab hold of it.
You are going to be one!
This particular flat is a particularly notorious flat because we know that Janis Joplin committed suicide down there in that flat down there. But this one, Ron L. Hubbard, is it? The
Scientology
guy,
founder.
He had this flat for a while. For
And
2
Errol
years.
Flynn.
Errol Flynn was here for 5 years in this flat.
Roy Dotrice and his wife Kay checked into the Highland Gardens 25 years ago, and they still haven't checked out. Roy has an amazing film career. He played Mozart's father, a major role in the Oscar-winning movie Amadeus. But long before Roy was making movies, he was making a name for himself as a stage actor, first in London's West End and then on Broadway.
This place is totally alien to the theatre world. They don't want to know about theatre here.
What is it about acting for film and TV that you can't get from acting in the theatre?
Money, basically.
And change.
You know, at my age, it would be nice to get a television series. I mean, you get a television series, and I had one in the year 2000, which was called Madigan Men. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Well, it kind of worked, but it only ran for 13 episodes. But, you know, I was earning very good money, and in just those 13 episodes, I earned best part of $1 million, you know, in 13 episodes. Well, if that had gone on for 4 years, I wouldn't have to work again.
Roy is in his early 80s. I can't believe he's still living at this rundown hotel alongside all the young hopefuls. David came to the hotel from Montreal. He was in university studying criminology when he told his parents that he was dropping out to become an actor.
My dad's a dentist. My sister, who's younger than me, was already in med school. She's now a doctor. We had the biggest father-son talk you could have. It was the most amazing thing. And he said to me, he said, you know something? I'm not giving you any more money. Time to grow up. Why don't you take 6 more months and decide if this is for you? I said to myself, this is true, the next audition I am going to book. And when the facts came through, when I got the sides for the next audition, my agent said, this is big, it's a long shot because it's a series lead on an American show. They ended up flying me to Los Angeles. I went through this whole process, and I got this part. I couldn't believe it. I had made it. It was unfucking believable.
And then what happened with that show?
The show was doing well. It started to do well. It was right before Queer as Folk on Showtime. It got canceled. It's like in most professions, you get to the next level, you might have some setbacks, but you keep climbing. And it's like I'm right back to the beginning. What's amazing about it is that, yes, some people have seen it, some of your peers, they know, okay, you've done this, and so they have more respect for you. Some of the casting directors are like, oh yeah, you were in that show. But the farther and farther away you go from that show, people forget it more and more, and it all of a sudden becomes a bit sad, because you say, oh, did you ever see Leap Years? Did you ever see that show? And as it gets farther and farther away, it gets a little bit sadder, because I don't want to become one of those people that says, oh, I did this and I did that and I knew this person, I worked with that person. I want it to be present tense. I want it to be the present or the future.
And how long ago was it that show got canceled?
2 years ago.
For how long should an artist try? When does self-determination become self-destruction? How do you know when it's time to throw in the towel?
I wasn't rushing it.
Klim, a struggling actor for 30 years, hasn't given up yet. Today, he's practicing for an audition with the help of his wife, a German film producer named Ulla.
He's reflecting, and his dramatic pauses are there. This is what the writer wrote, and this is what the director is going to follow.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with breaks, sweetie.
Dramatic pause is a break. Pause, break, same thing, okay? Black man in Hollywood.
Klim surfs his computer late into the night, meeting women in live chat rooms.
Let's see who's on this one. Oh, got a couple of girls. Let's see who this is.
During the day, he pays the bills as a chauffeur to the stars. When did you start driving the limo?
Oh, gosh. I started that back in the 70s. I've been doing that for almost 30 years, probably, off and on.
And you've driven some famous people around?
Oh, gosh, yeah, I've driven, you name them, Cary Grant, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau.
What's it like being
Dean Martin.
When you're driving these celebrities around, you're so close, literally, to celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
and yet so far, because you're the driver.
One of my little things is that wherever the celebrity's going, I always get there before they do. I don't care what it is. If they're going to Academy Awards, I'm there before they are.
Some actors like Klim have only landed a few TV commercials or no work at all. Yet they keep going for years, maybe decades, without reward. Why do they do it?
You don't take that out on your friends.
No matter what, you're going to end up being gentle and friendly at some point in this, because this is...
Actors at the hotel are always having impromptu workshops to help each other prepare for auditions. There are some great mentors here, like the prolific actor Maury Chaykin, who played a deranged army officer in the Oscar-winning Dances with Wolves. Maury's been a regular at the hotel for years.
Not just blah, 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 blah.
So is Mark Margolis, best known for his role in Scarface as the Spanish-speaking car bomb fanatic.
But that's where sensory work, I thought, was really where I could substitute something else that turned me on the same way. The buttons were something else for me on that bomb than the buttons on a bomb.
I'm surprised to see such experienced and respected actors like Mark and Maury living at this no-star hotel. They can afford better. But like the younger actors, I think they appreciate the benefit of community.
You have to tell. No, you tell.
Brooke is a 20-year-old up-and-coming actress. In Toronto, she was booking lead roles in popular kid shows like The Animorphs, in which she would morph into a lion. Now she's come out to Hollywood on her own, ready to play more mature roles.
The level of opportunities here in Hollywood, it really doesn't compare to Toronto. I mean, not if you're trying to attain a certain level of success. And I want to be on the big screen. So, you have to be here. There's no other way. You can feel it too. I mean, when you go out on any audition, it's just like, wow, this could be my next big break, or this could be the next thing that, you know, jettisons me into the next level of my career. So there's a lot of hope, but not misguided hope, so that's good, because anything's possible, you know, in Hollywood. Seems like it anyways.
She is very pretty and smart. She uses words like jettison. Too bad she has a boyfriend in Toronto. Harold comes to the Highland Gardens from Boston. He checked in a year ago to retire to the hotel. Okay, Harold.
All right.
Tell me about your history at this hotel.
At this hotel, okay. Well, you probably know that I was a musician for my whole life. And I started coming out to Los Angeles to perform maybe 30 years ago. And the first place I stayed was Highland Gardens. Yummy.
Harold isn't just any musician. He's a gifted clarinetist who conducted at Carnegie Hall. And he accompanied some of the greats like Mikhail Baryshnikov. I've decided to drop in on Harold, hoping to learn more about his career as a clarinetist.
I did well. I got a full scholarship to go to school for no money from my parents, which was nice. And somewhere along the line, I met the woman who would become my lifelong wife. We had several children, and Ivana became a wonderful composer. When I was in Boston, I was what they call a really red-hot clarinet player. I mean, I was terrific. I could play anything. But all I knew was playing the clarinet. When I met Ivana, she talked to me about Mozart, Stravinsky, Picasso. She talked to me about a lot of things I really didn't know about. All I knew was Ivana, somewhere during this, got sick. I think she was 50 or 51, and she was diagnosed with having Alzheimer's disease. She doesn't know anybody. Get any more cigarettes? I live here and I swim in the pool and I drink.
Why do you drink?
Why do I drink? I always drank. Now, maybe there's a little more reason.
I know there's mercy in this world.
It's been 10 days at the hotel, and it's not exactly what I expected. This isn't the Hollywood I've seen on Entertainment Tonight. I find myself using the documentary as an excuse to spend more time with Brooke. One of the nice things about living at this hotel is having such attractive neighbors. When I decided to come to LA, my girlfriend in Toronto broke off our relationship, and I'm starting to feel a little lonely. Everyone at this hotel seems a little lonely. Dina works on Hollywood Boulevard, posing for pictures with tourists. How long have you been at the hotel?
8 months.
You like it here?
Yeah. I like being at the place where Janis Joplin used to live.
You like Janis Joplin?
Yeah.
What do you like about Marilyn?
She was so beautiful. She could have had any man she wanted, and she pretty much did.
except for Montgomery Clift because he was a homo. I've had a lot of the things that make me uncomfortable is a lot of the homeless guys that come up and try to talk to me. I mean, it's nice to be like, hey, I'm a fan, or can I get a photo? But when they start acting like staring at me and standing there forever, it's just like, dude, get lost. And like, there have been times when I've been crying at work, and then it's like I have to put on my sunglasses, and I have to hold back because people look at me. It's like, oh, Marilyn's crying. At first, my dad was like, you know, don't go, you shouldn't be doing this. But, you know, now they're just like, they're so proud of me because I'm making it on my own, being very independent because nobody else is out here with me. I did it all on my own. And that's what you gotta do. Only the strong survive.
Dina came to Hollywood from Independence, Missouri. She comes from a loving family, and she seems so fragile. I feel like I want to send her back home.
Young and beautiful as anything.
When did you put the blonde highlights in?
I got them for a part.
For what part?
I didn't get them for a part. I got them before pilot season.
How come?
Because originally because I look Jewish when my hair is very dark and curly. So
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with being Jewish. It's that I don't feel like going out for Jewish parts my whole life. So I want to, yeah.
So let me understand, you're trying to make her hair as un-Jewish as possible.
Yes.
Hey, Molly, it's a great outfit, man.
Wow. You look good.
Come on. Some of these people don't even have agents. Some of them are just repped by managers. Some are personally repped. Some have a small dwarf who walks around and publicizes them carrying a sandwich board.
In my time, it was very, very different. Not only actors were they trained very strictly and had to do their spell in repertory and gain experience, but if you went for an interview in those days and your shoes weren't polished or your nails weren't clean, you didn't get the job. There was a kind of phony, totally phony, but a kind of or a gentleman aspect about it. You had to be a gentleman to be an actor, particularly in England. I mean, it was kind of blown wide open with Marlon Brando and the method and all that stuff. And we've carried on from there. Now young actors are much more relaxed and assert their own personalities still. You know, once upon a time, the English actor used to go to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, and with gestures 1, 2, 3, and 4, walked under the footlights and spout Shakespeare in the most beautifully modulated Royal Academy voice. You know, it's fucking boring. It had nothing whatsoever to do with acting. It was, and a lot of that is still pertinent in the English theatre. We've become a bit more relaxed in the English theatre.
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what I see in America? Shithead wearing dirty shoes.
Oh, she's from the old school.
Dirty everything, and their faces are monstrous. Their hair is disgusting, and they have an impertinence, but they don't have the fucking talent that goes with the kind of impertinence that they're pushing in the front of
I think you're wrong. I think you're totally wrong about that, and I'm glad I haven't got that point of view, because yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of actors, we had a typical example of a young English actor who came out here and stayed with us for a while, and we were appalled by the way he'd dressed and behaved, and the fact that he was up till 3 o'clock every morning, and you know, smoking pot and all the rest of it, and sleeping until 1 o'clock, and that was not the way to get a job.
Bugger it!
For my money and my.
It's your bloody trade. Go after it and do after it correctly.
Today in Baghdad, important action from the U.S. forces who are now able to control a great deal of movement in and out of the city.
Brooke goes out on about one audition a day. Today, it's for a new Fox show called Skin.
It's about two families. One is a kind of a corrupt DA, and the other one is the head of an adult entertainment industry.
The porn industry.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And what would you be playing?
Oh, I don't know, maybe like one of the porn stars.
If you could give a piece of advice to the Canadian actors that come to stay at the Highland Gardens Hotel, what would that be?
Yeah, Highland Garden, can I have you?
What advice would you give to Canadians staying at the Highland Gardens Hotel?
Yeah, I would tell that they should be careful not to drink too much.
Northern girl with beauty unmatched, my desire is like an itch I can't scratch. In her shell there's a pearl, northern girl.
It's so good. When was your last girlfriend? Did you have a girlfriend when you came here?
I had the longest girlfriend that I'd ever had when I was living in Vancouver. I lived with a girl, a really fantastic, beautiful girl. I lived with her for about 2.5 years. And when I decided to move down to LA, I left her and just decided to come out completely on my own. And it was a tough decision, but you know, I made it, and I can't really go back.
Oh!
This afternoon, I'm helping Brooke prepare for an audition.
You sure you've done this before?
Yeah, many times. I might forget certain things.
I'll remind you.
Maybe you should go outside for a second.
Outside?
Yeah, just outside the room. I have to take off my clothes.
How about I just turn around and close my eyes?
Okay.
Okay. It's gonna be fun. I really like you.
Before David leaves for an audition, he meditates for 20 minutes.
What kind of notes does a guy like you keep? What do you got here? Did you remember to call Dollar? Who's Dollar?
I don't call Dollar Rental Car. My car's officially sold.
Oh, Dollar Rent-A-Car. Who's Christina?
She's the porn star that used to live in 214L.
Who's Nicole?
Nicole's this girl that likes me, but she has a masseuse, so she...
When are you going to drive to the desert?
When I book a pilot.
What else you got? Who's Cassandra?
She's a casting director I'm supposed to call. She likes me.
Howard Cole.
That's my psychiatrist. Please don't touch that.
No, honestly, who is it?
It's my psychiatrist in Toronto.
People here become fast friends. Outside of the hotel, they probably won't keep in touch, but in the meantime, it beats being alone. Other than going out to do stand-up comedy, I never leave the hotel. No one here does. I've been here 20 days now, and I still haven't figured out how I feel about this place. But what at first glance seemed only like a shabby hotel is now starting to feel a bit more like a home away from home.
Is that your phone?
Yeah.
Polly does extremely well in Canada. She appeared with Leslie Nielsen in the movie Men with Brooms. She's very talented and also very alluring. Our interview was interrupted 3 times by older movie executives phoning to ask her out.
You've got a lot of old people calling you.
I have quite a few older people calling me. I mean, not old, like 75 old, just you know, my father's age old. Producers, casting directors, ridiculous people in the film industry thinking that, you know, they would help me out if, you know. I mean, it's not literally like they say, hey, you know, suck my cock and I'll give you a part, but it's pretty much implied.
Is there something about you that these older men are attracted to?
I think I'm friendly and open, and they think that that means that I'm interested. And it's something I obviously have to figure out, like I'm sending out the wrong signals or something, I don't know. Problem is that you want to, when you go to an audition or you get a job, you have to make those people, particularly for the type of roles that I've played in the past or probably will still play a bit of, you kind of have to sell you have to make them kind of fall for you, you know, and not in the room, but I mean in the scene, right? I mean, even in the room, you kind of want them to like you, you know, and perhaps I'm sending off, you know, these signals that I'm stuck dealing with in the aftermath of it all.
I've been here for about 5 years.
How's your acting career been?
My acting career, I'm on the second leg. I'm on the second act of my acting career. I'm picking it up again.
You got a good vantage point from your room.
Mm.
What kind of stuff do you see from here?
No, it's a cool spot, man. I've seen all kind of shit from here. I've seen people fucking, I mean, if I can say that, I mean, I've seen women fucking masturbating, playing with themselves. Being in this spot that I am in, there are some positions over there where only I can see, nobody else can see, and they know that. And there's a little spot right there where I've seen lots of stuff going on.
What kind of stuff?
Girl, guys, women by themselves. I'm typing away, working on some stuff, and their business becomes my business.
In the 80s, the Highland Gardens was known as the Porn Hotel. From what I've seen, the hotel still lives up to its name. When I saw these girls checking in, I knew what they were up to and asked if I could document their video shoot. They were happy to have me, and I was extremely happy to be there.
It's getting harder to get paid work, you know? Yeah, and I'm not getting younger.
Shall we? We're gonna take this off, right? Mm-hmm. Because she could take this off first, and then I'll take off her burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
What are you two gonna do when your careers are over?
I went to film school, so hopefully I'll make my way somehow into mainstream Hollywood and end up producing.
I really plan on spending the rest of my life in this industry, but behind the camera.
Brooke was brought in to audition for the director of Skin. She booked the part.
I put something!
So I don't know anything. Wait, when do you shoot?
Next week.
And where does it shoot?
It shoots at the WB lot.
That's exciting.
You know, like the big studio?
Yeah. You came to Hollywood to be a TV star.
Yeah.
And you did it. Now you're gonna be a TV star.
I know.
David is going in for the lead role of a new ABC drama called Eyes.
And you think this role is good for you?
Yes.
David is straight, but this is the third time in a month that he's going out for a gay character.
They'll probably be bringing in 10 people for the callbacks.
So you're one of 10?
One of 10.
Tonight, a Vancouver actor at the hotel is being stabbed to death in a made-for-TV movie. All the other Vancouver actors at the hotel have gathered to watch.
Back home, I'm kind of proud to say I'm an actor because people actually know that that's what I do for a living and I have done for a living for a long time. Whereas here, I'm almost sometimes, you know, I'm sort of embarrassed at times to say that I'm an actor because there are so many people here who are just the prom king or prom queen that have come down here because of that fact to become a star. There's a lot of actors down here that I've seen that aren't really actors.
So, do you think you're gonna make it?
Definitely. I would love it. I would love it because I know I'm a hell of an actor. Because the roles that I've played through my life, you know, it doesn't matter now, but the first jewelry store that I robbed, I posed as a doctor and pulled it off beautifully. Pulled it off to about $280,000 worth of acting. So yeah, I can act.
How many different types of places have you robbed?
Only 2 different places, banks and jewelry stores.
Didn't you mention to me once that you had robbed a drugstore, a pharmacy?
No, I used to burglarize those. Burglary is breaking in, robbery is this.
I see. Where did you get your tattoos?
Well, they all came from prisons, but you want the names of the prisons they came from. This one was Corcoran. This one was Folsom. And these were from Corcoran. And these were from Chino, and the ones on my upper body were from CRC. This is Cougars. This is one person that hasn't fucked me up yet.
It's hard to imagine that he's done time at Corcoran, California's most brutal prison.
Have you ever killed anyone?
That's a question I'm not going to answer. Well, let's just say no.
Yeah, what's your name and room number? What's your name and room number?
We're visiting somebody in 117.
Okay, hang on, I'll open the door.
Leo, all these headshots on the wall behind you.
Yeah.
How did these people get their pictures up on the wall?
Yeah, a good number of them have been here at one time or another. This person, he is dead. Then we got Hans Birkenader.
Hans Birkenader?
Yeah, he died too. This girl, who is in the bunny.
She's a Playboy bunny.
Yeah. Yeah, Highland Garden, can I have you?
Leo was born in Sri Lanka and moved to LA in 1981. For over 20 years, he's been working in the hotel's graveyard shift.
Leo, have you ever considered being a performer?
Yeah, that was an opportunity. If it came my way.
Do you ever play a musical instrument or sing?
I sing a ditty that I learned some time ago. My grandfather's clock was too tall for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor. It was born on the morn of the day that he was born, and was always his jewel and his pride, for it stuck 24 when he entered at the door with a beautiful booming chime. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old fellow died.
Today, the hotel parking garage is being used as a rehearsal space by a group of 15-year-old Japanese girls. I believe they're preparing to shoot their first music video, though none of them speak English, so it's hard to know for sure. From what I can tell, they're like the Japanese Spice Girls. Gary swims every day, but he'll only go into the pool if there's no one else in it.
How long have you been coming and going to the Highland Gardens?
Probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I'm a writer. This just came out this last month. It's a novel, Do Everything in the Dark.
Gary, Indiana has written 6 novels and countless articles and essays. In literary circles, he is celebrated, but socially, he is an outcast. I've invited him to parties at the hotel, but I don't think Gary's the partying type.
When did you first start writing? Professionally?
30 years ago. This is not the greatest moment of my career, believe me. I'm kind of in a weird place right now. I mean, I have my health, which is really good. You know, I can't imagine. I mean, I should, because I should prepare for it, but I can't imagine, like, the things that are in store in terms of just, physical decay and decrepitude. I'm trying to, count my blessings. Someone's doing gymnastics in the pool.
Someone's doing gymnastics in the pool?
Oh, he's going on his head and stuff.
Oh, he's very good. Do you spend a lot of time watching stuff around the pool?
No. You know, for a number of years I was doing books mostly about psychopathic personalities and people who, for one reason or another, had experienced this kind of dislocation of their psyche.
Have you experienced that sort of thing?
Well, I think everybody has. You have to understand, I mean, New Hampshire in the 50s was a funny place to grow up, depending on your sense of humor, and if you were gay, then that was really a disaster. And, my parents were typical of their time and place.
Did they read all your books?
No, they never read any of them.
Why does an introvert like Gary choose to live at a hotel? Maybe it's comforting to see people having fun around him. I've been here a month now, and I can afford to stay for only 1 more month. I've been reviewing some of the footage I've been shooting at the hotel, and I'm afraid that people are going to find this stuff depressing. But I've come to realize that I love living here, surrounded by all of these artists. Maybe some of them drink too much, and one of them robs banks, and maybe some are a bit delusional. But at least they're not following the rules and leading regular lives.
I am a diver, I stand on a cliff.
I have to live by our wits. There's no social security for us down here. I had 2 months where I'd buy a paper every day. I'd read the paper. And after that, I had about 90 cents left over to eat for the day. And, that's 2 eggs in the morning, there's 20 cents. And then for lunch, have a bologna sandwich. And then, for dinner, a hamburger, buy some hamburger meat. And there you go, you've eaten for under 90 cents a day.
Right there, now! Get out the roof!
Brooke and another actress spent the night throwing water balloons from the roof of the hotel.
Get off that roof! What's wrong with you? Climbing on the roof!
Is that your headshot?
My headshot is for my new look, my new image that my agents are putting together for me. They want me to be a little bit harder. They don't want me to be as soft and as energetic as I normally am.
What is your dream role, acting role?
My dream acting role actually to play a gunfighter, a gunslinger
in the Wild Wild West. Back in the Western days, there were guys back there that could handle those guns just as good as anybody on the planet.
You know how to handle a gun?
Let me see if I can handle a gun. Let's see. There's one.
Back in the days of the Wild West, thousands of people made the trek to California. Everyone was searching for the new frontier, and it was this crazy, dangerous place. That's what Hollywood is. Hollywood is the new frontier. I just hope Clem knows what he's doing with that thing and that it isn't loaded.
I think I can handle one pretty damn good.
This morning, I returned to Gary and Deanna's room to ask for a second interview, but Gary is checked out. His room is now occupied by another familiar face.
Hello, Laura.
Hello, Stephen.
I'm very happy that you're back at the hotel.
6 weeks after returning to Toronto, Laura got a call from her agent in LA. She booked a part she had auditioned for months earlier. It's the lead in a currently untitled ABC pilot. The network flew her back to LA, and she starts shooting tomorrow. It's amazing how quickly lives change around here. David's audition for the producers of Eyes went incredibly well, and so they're bringing him back to audition for the heads of the network. At this stage, he's up against only 3 other actors. But before David can audition, he first has to sign a 5-year contract.
Everything is negotiated. The exact amount of money you're going to make per week over the next 5 years. The size of your trailer. The whether or not you're going to have someone driving you to set. How much, if you can keep the wardrobe that you get to work with. Where your credits are, if you're the first credit or the last credit. Every single thing is negotiated before you don't even, and what happens, you find out tomorrow, I'll find out at 4 o'clock that I didn't get the part. You rip up this massive contract and it goes in the garbage, and no one gives a shit.
So what is your pay going to be, an episode?
$30,000 an episode, which is fucking mind-blowing. I'm not going to get psyched out by the other people. I'm going to get the fucking part.
A dozen cops have shown up to the hotel. They've surrounded Dave's room, the bank robber, in response to a call made by his ex-wife. Last night, Dave was thrown in jail. He won't say why. No charges were laid, and this morning he was released back to the hotel. Some others also arrived to the hotel today, a crew shooting a silent film led by a director named Monty.
Put the camera there. Bring the camera here. Move that way. Okay, one shot here of her walking through and him with the potato sack. And they come up close. Okay, one. Where's the camera? Oh, God, put it anywhere. I don't care.
He's green.
Yeah, he's a...
Yeah, I know. He's wet behind the ears. Yes, someday he'll know what to do.
But he's willing. He wants to do a good job.
You know, like really accented. Are you ready?
Yeah, what am I shooting?
I told you, you're shooting into the garden.
Okay.
Roll, we need to roll.
It's rolling.
Go, John, run up. Actually, now run back the other way. Did we get it?
You might wonder if this guy is for real. He is for real, and his cast and crew are all volunteering their time to gain some experience.
Got some of that?
What do you mean, some of it? Did we get it? Should we do it again?
Sure.
Let's do it again. Can we cover it up and shoot in the rain?
And a tree frog?
Yeah.
Hurry, right now. Let's get it going. Put it right under there and shoot from there. Suddenly, it starts to just rain now, like...
Yeah.
Okay? You guys take comfort in that.
He's a real visionary.
You want me to load it?
Well, fun. No, I don't.
Well,
Load it!
Listen to me. If it keeps up like this, we can't shoot.
Your camera's there. I don't want you to move your camera.
That's what I'm saying. You want to shoot 100 feet from right here?
Yes!
Okay.
Is that possible?
Sure.
Well, then let's do it.
You can't film here anymore. Jack said you can't film here because it's their liability.
Load the camera immediately, Roman.
He said if somebody slips, they're
You know what? No one's gonna slip. I don't even want to hear this. Go away. Load the camera, and we're gonna do this in one take.
Well, you know what? It's too wet. If the rain's subside, you shouldn't film anymore because it's too much
I'm not filming
liability.
anymore. I just want the safety of what we've already shot.
Well, this wasn't prearranged with me, so...
You know what? It wasn't even prearranged with me either. I didn't want to do this thing.
Okay, well, we're going to stop it now.
Okay, it's stopped.
Okay.
It's over. But we're going to wait for the rain to subside.
There's no more filming going on.
That's fine. Are
As
you
of
kidding
now,
me?
as
I
of
hate
right
this
now.
job. There's no more filming going
No
on.
problem. It's just too wet. It's too much of a liability.
Well, what about these people?
These people are all tenants here.
So am I.
Steven stays here.
I'm a tenant here too.
Yeah, but you're filming a shoot, a professional shoot. He's just doing a home movie.
You know what?
It's different than what you're doing. What you're
This
doing...
is a Super 8 camera.
It doesn't matter. What you're doing...
What makes you think this isn't a... For whom?
And
A production from whom?
we do that here all the time, but people bring me insurance policies.
You know, a production from whom? This is the same thing he's doing. In fact, we're not shooting sound.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Neither am I.
It's over.
I know.
It's over. So have all of your people leave.
Okay, well, in
If
5
you
minutes.
arranged it with me in advance, I would have let you do it, but you didn't, so...
I didn't even know we were doing this. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Is the camera loaded? Okay. You think I'm gonna have the rain come in the perfect scene?
He's calling the cops, dude, if you don't stop.
Shut the fuck up! If you don't want to shoot this, that's fine with me.
No, I'm talking about your ass.
Okay, you know what? Don't worry about my fucking ass.
He's talking to him like he told him.
Okay. Fine. Shut the fuck up. I have to talk to him, and I really am pissed off right now. I'm very disappointed. I'm pissed, and shut the fuck up. I didn't want to do this fucking mess. I did this for you guys.
Go fuck yourself.
It's amazing what actors will put up with to add a credit to their resume. Monty lost a few of his team, but most stuck around to continue lending a hand. They're going to rent out a room at the hotel while they figure out how to finish shooting their movie without a camera. This hotel is like a microcosm of Hollywood. This wide range of eccentric people living under one roof. In 20 days, I return to Toronto where people are normal. I'm dreading it.
This town can break your heart.
David didn't get the part. All day, people at the hotel have been trying to convince him that better roles will come his way. You know, losing a job isn't the end of the world, but I can't help feeling badly for him. The show would have made him a millionaire, and famous too. David is afraid to tell his parents the bad news because 5 years ago his mother had a heart transplant, and he doesn't want to burden her with the stress.
Fuck, I haven't had grandchildren, I haven't had kids, so she hasn't had grandchildren, so there's that pressure. And also, I'm not saying, I have to take her to the Oscars kind of thing, but I just want to make her fucking proud of me. And I just want to make her proud of me, both my parents. I want them to be proud. And so, it's hard. And I came so close.
You have to work hard, and you must never ever give up. If you have faith in yourself, you'll never give up, because acting is a matter of opinion. When one person says you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, the next person may think you stink, you're terrible, and you can't believe either. You have to believe your own ego, your own personality. You have to do it yourself, basically. That's what it is. It's the most lonely profession in the world, because the amount of rejection you're going to get along the way, to this day, naturally I get rejection. All the time I get rejection.
Pull back to reveal the lifeless body of a young girl with blonde hair floating in the water.
Brooke has been sent the script for her second episode of Skin. After a binge of ecstasy and alcohol, her character ends up face down in a swimming pool.
They can't kill me off. I just got there. here.
It's been a few days since David lost the part, and his stress seems lifted. It's no wonder he's been hanging out with Laura, and it's obvious that there's a mutual attraction. Tonight, we're throwing a barbecue to celebrate Harold's 69th birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Harold. Happy birthday to you.
Rare burgers are ready.
Spotlights and fan clubs, haircuts and stage clothes, press shots and van rides, tour guides and time slots, autograph, stadium. We finally made it.
I worked with dancers all my life. And you want me to tell you who are the best dancers that I ever saw and that I ever played for? I'll tell you. Without question. You actually filming me? Without question. Mikhail Baryshnikov. The best male dancer that I ever saw in my life.
Late at night, when I can't sleep no more, the corner store, I leaf through the pages of magazines, all the lives they lead. Will I ever leave this town?
At the hotel, we take turns carrying Harold back to his room. I like Harold, and I'm happy that he had friends to spend his birthday with.
Will I ever?
Brooke received some good news today. She's learned that it wasn't her character floating in the pool.
I'm not dead! Yay!
Back in Vancouver, Brian's ex-girlfriend has started dating a new guy.
She's gonna move in with him. So, I'm gonna head up to Vancouver again. I'm gonna try to see her up there.
You're trying to get her back, to
Well,
win her away from her new boyfriend.
I'm gonna see if she wants to move down here. I'm gonna see if she wants to come down here.
And if you don't win your ex-girlfriend back, then you're coming back to LA on your own.
Yeah, I'm coming back regardless. I'm coming back. This is where I'm gonna be.
You're coming back either with her or without her.
With her without. Yeah, with her without her. Yes.
Dina and her boyfriend of 6 months are about to be parents.
I'm having twin boys and 4.5 months pregnant.
How is he going to help support the kids?
He says he has a job, but I don't believe it.
Do you have a tummy yet?
I have a little bit of a tummy.
Is there anything we could see?
No, probably not. You can't really see it.
Are you ready for the responsibility of kids?
No, but I've handled everything else. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't be able to handle kids.
Tonight, Brian is making ribs for anyone at the hotel who wants them.
Is there a back towel?
Sally loved a guy named
Before I came to this hotel, I was working in a 2x2 cubicle. I used to make small talk in the elevator and send inter-office emails and eat lunch in the food court. This hotel is a completely different world. In 10 days, I check out. In a few hours, Brian plans to start his drive back to Vancouver to try and win back his ex-girlfriend. But before heading out, he has asked his next-door neighbor to give him a new haircut. I think this signifies a new chapter in his life. Laura is checking out of her hotel room and into David's. That's how it goes at this hotel. One day, two people meet. A few days later, they're living together. It's romantic. It also saves on rent. Harold sticks to a routine. He plays online poker or watches TV. Then he heads down to the pool for a swim. But the other day, something special happened. Harold received a letter from the American Ballet Theater inviting him to play clarinet for their season in New York. Harold hasn't played the clarinet in several years. In fact, he sold his clarinet. This would be an opportunity for him to make music again. I really hope he takes the gig. It seems like his chance to escape the hotel.
Cut!
Today, the actor Saul Rubinek showed up at the hotel with a small film crew. Saul's impressive acting resume includes the role of the biographer in Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood's Oscar-winning Western. Years ago, Saul used to stay at the Highland Gardens. Now, he's returned to use the hotel as a location for a low-budget film he's directing. Saul got to talking with David and Laura and has given them a few lines in the movie.
And action.
I am fucking crazy about you. You're... I don't know. So different from Steve.
All right, cut. All right, we got enough.
So different from Steve.
You know what the Highland Garden should be called?
What?
My fucking career hotel. My fucking career hotel.
Huh.
Because that's essentially what it's about. It's all about you. It's not about anybody else. You don't care about anybody else because all it's about is whether or not you're going to get a job.
Tonight, Brooke was planning to watch the episode of Skin in which her character first appears. But this morning, Fox announced that they are canceling the show due to poor ratings.
The day that my show was supposed to air. They couldn't have waited a day. Just one day.
But this is definitely something I can get. I know that. Are you ready to try another? Because I hear there's this one from Peru. It comes with a Surgeon General's warning.
Hey, if that last one didn't kill me, nothing will.
All right, I'll be right back. God, you know what? When you start getting bored at your own audition, you know there's a problem.
I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I mean, to get the part, I have to come up with something that's kick-ass.
David is preparing for another major audition. Some TV producers remembered his work from Leap Years and are considering him for the starring role of a new show called Naked Josh. Since they're already familiar with his work, David is skipping the preliminary auditions and going in directly for the heads of the network. It's a straight part, the romantic lead, and there is some concern that David may not be macho enough for the role.
So you're meeting the director tonight at the Four Seasons Hotel?
Four Seasons Hotel. I'm gonna have a drink, we're gonna talk about the character, and then tomorrow, I'm gonna book the part.
David went in for his audition to play Josh, the starring role of Naked Josh. He booked the part. The first people he phoned were his parents. Dave's acting career hasn't yet gotten off the ground, but that's the last thing on his mind. Dave has informed me that his ex-wife, who had him thrown in jail, was just found murdered in Tucson, Arizona.
I just don't feel like talking to people right now.
Brooke hasn't seen her family in months, but she plans to continue staying at the hotel until she lands her big break. Dina has left the hotel to move in with her boyfriend. They're planning to get married. 6 months pregnant, she is still posing as Marilyn on Hollywood Boulevard. Reviews of Gary's latest novel, Do Everything in the Dark, are calling it his most dreary work to date. He has no current plans to return to the hotel. Polly didn't get any parts, and in a few weeks she will head back to Canada. Meanwhile, she's become romantically involved with a younger actor.
No, it's just, you know, it's just that he's 22.
Harold has decided against taking the clarinet gig in New York. I think when he lost his wife, his passion for music was also lost. What's the most important thing in life?
Love. Absolutely the most important thing. Without question.
After 5 years of marriage, Clem and Ulla have filed for divorce. It's forced him to reflect on where he's been and reconsider where he's heading.
That was a hot shot. That shot got me a lot of stuff. Got me in a lot of stuff. At that time, that was the look, man. This was my wallet pullout. These were girls that, you know, I had fun with, dated, played with, the party girls, you know.
After a failed attempt to win back his ex-girlfriend, Brian headed back to LA alone. But at the American border, he was flagged by immigration officers. Maybe it was his new haircut. Without working papers, Brian was denied re-entry into the United States. He is currently stuck in Vancouver, where he lives alone in a docked houseboat. Monty is preparing to shoot the final scene of his movie.
We're rehearsing. I have finally put a closure on this movie, but it's not me that makes the decision. It tells you when it's finished. You don't tell it. This movie, any movie, especially this one, but any movie takes on an energy and a life force of its own, and no matter what the fuck the director, producer, the writer does, there's no way you can control it. It's gonna go this way or that way. And if you try to conform it to something else, you ain't gonna win. Whose is it?
If it was you just said right now.
They say I'm on drugs, Monty's on drugs. Believe me, I'll never put a needle in my arm. It ain't mine.
Roy has made the decision to return to theater. He's preparing for a new one-man show in which he will play William Shakespeare. You came to LA to do film and TV. Why now are you going back to theater?
Because I want to. Because for me that is the only real medium for an actor. I want to do it all my life, until the rest is silence.
I probably actually missed an excellent opportunity in the field of research, kind of like what you guys do.
David is preparing to shoot 8 episodes of Naked Josh. He has just learned that the show will be filmed in Montreal. How crazy is it that David had to come all the way to LA to book a TV show that shoots in his hometown? His parents are thrilled. And by the way, the director has asked David to take the blonde highlights out of his hair. With David checking out of the hotel in a few days, Laura has decided to get her own place. Her untitled ABC pilot did not get picked up, but landing the role has given Laura the confidence to stay in LA. As for me, like everyone else who checks into that hotel, I ended up staying longer than I expected. My money was depleted after 2 months, so I started charging everything to my credit card and stayed for another 1.5 years. Eventually, stand-up comedy took me from coffee shops to the Hollywood Improv. When I was up on that stage, looking into the spotlight, the feeling was magical, and I finally understood why people sacrificed everything to get there.
Come along, enjoy the ride. You never know until you try. You live your life watching scenery, sees me lonely.
Now I'm in Richmond Hill, an hour north of Toronto, where I'm living in my parents' basement. I'm $85,000 in debt, and all I can think about is how I can get myself back to that hotel to give show business another go. I can't fully explain why I feel like I've got to get back there. But like I said, it's the same obsession that led people to California back in the days when they had frontier fever. Most of those people failed, and Most of the people who head up now are going to fail. And maybe heading out west, chasing some romantic dream makes no sense, but the frontier is more powerful than any common sense can be. The people I met at that hotel may be crazy, but they're also passionate and determined and courageous. They live with their hearts. They choose this life with all its disappointment and rejection for the opportunity to do what they love. And they persist day in and day out because giving up would be a regret they would carry with them the rest of their lives. They will only fail once they stop trying.
Just a little more time is all we're asking for. 'Cause just a little more time could open closing doors. Just a little uncertainty can bring it down. And nobody wants to know you now. And nobody wants to show you how. So if you're lost and on your own, you can never surrender. And if your path won't lead you home, you can never surrender. And when the night is cold and dark, you can see light. 'Cause no one can take away your right to fight and to never surrender.